Hello, I think I'm live. I'm gonna do my checks to see if it's working. Hopefully it is. It looks like it is. Okay, good. So welcome, whether you're watching this live or on replay. This is Hannah Crafted Gifts. I'm Hannah. Our catalog launch party for the new year. Happy New Year. With a new year. Oh, and I see someone's watching. Welcome. Please comment who you are, where you're watching from. I love this for this to be interactive, but with the new year comes the new catalogs from Stampin' Up, which if you don't know is where I choose to buy my craft supplies from for my personal and professional use. And so we have two catalogs to go through tonight, the Sale-A-Bration catalog and the new mini catalog, which is called the January to April mini catalog, but I basically call it the spring catalog. But we're gonna start with the sale catalog. So I'm gonna do tours through both catalogs. I have a lot to cover, so I'm gonna get right into it and probably talk really fast. Again, please comment because I wanna interact with you. That's why I do these live. So whether you're watching live or on replay, hopefully I'll ask questions throughout. Don't wait for me to ask questions. Comment on what you like, what you have questions about, and I'll try to reply. If not now, then afterwards. And certainly if you're watching this on replay, I'll comment afterwards. But after the tours through the catalogs, well, actually during the tours through the catalogs, I'll show you a couple project samples with the new product. And then at the end, we'll talk about prizes. So stay tuned, rewind back if you missed it and you want to be reminded what the prize options are. Don't let me forget to get to it, those of you who are watching live. I don't think I will. Okay, so first of all, the Sale-A-Bration catalog. So if you've been following me or anyone else, you've at least seen the cover, but today's the first day that we can show you what's inside, which you had some sneak peeks of here. But the first thing to know is that this runs from today, January 5th, to February 28th. So it's just the next 2 months, and of course, February is a short month. So the name of the game is get it now, because these things are also only available while supplies last. And they try to keep them stocked the entire time, but sometimes they do sell out. So just right here on the first page, hopefully you're seeing this with the right orientation, but we've got a couple icons to watch for throughout the catalog. So first of all, you see either a $50 bubble or a $100 bubble. So most of the items in the catalog are available when you spend $50 before shipping and tax, and these are free. So if you're already spending that money on crafts, you're getting more for it. And they're exclusive. There's no way to buy them. The only thing you can do is earn them right now through your other craft purchases. And then there's a few extra special things we'll get to at the end that you spend $100 to earn because they're bigger. So that's it for really pages 2 and 3. And if you want to follow along, I posted a link to the PDF for the mini catalog today on my Facebook page. You can also find it on StampinUp.com, and you can find all of these Sale-A-Bration items on StampinUp.com. I linked to that as well this morning here on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook. All right, so I see we've still got someone watching. Please comment who you are, where you're watching from. Again, I'd love to interact with you. So the very first thing in the catalog, I'm gonna fold it so you can see me and it, is the Adorable Owls stamp set. So again, if you spend $50, you can earn this for free. And you'll see some samples, some samples of projects using this. I've had to flip the camera so that hopefully you're reading it, not backwards. And so that means everything's opposite from me, which throws me off a little bit. But they always do a cute cartoon animal with some puns. And this time it's an owl, which I love because my last name is Bird. And I like the hoot hoot. You're so cute. So a real cute set. The next one is called Thanks a Bunch. And again, for a $50 purchase, you can get this one. This one has a pun too. Everything's coming up carrots, which I think is like everything's coming up roses. And you can say thanks a bunch or love you a bunch, you know, and have a bunch of carrots there. So, you know, whatever your style is, there's something for you. This is one of my favorites in this catalog. So this is, I love designer series paper. That's my favorite type of product, which is, you know, paper that has designs on it, usually on both sides. And this is the Dainty Flowers 12 by 12 DSP. The colors are Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Old Olive, Rich Razzleberry, and Starry Sky. And I actually got this, so if you go back and watch my unboxing video, you can see this up close. Whoop, there it is. But look at the beautiful projects using that. And there is a coordinating bundle in the mini catalog, which I'll show you when we get to that. I see someone else is watching. Welcome, whoever you are. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from. All right. Next, we have another designer series paper. This is the Day at the Farm 12 by 12 DSP. The colors in this one are Balmy Blue, Cherry Cobbler, Daffodil Delight, Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, and Soft Suede. And you can see it's all these farm scenes. This page in particular is like a full page scene, so a 12 by 12 scene. This would be great for pages like that, especially I think are great for scrapbooking, memory keeping, but also obviously, and that's what they've done here, also of course can be used to make cards. And then this one I think is an unfortunately very important type of stamp set. This one's called Sending Support. And it has lots of encouragement for people who are maybe going through a loss or something like that. Hi, Lisa. I'm so glad you're here. Let me know what you're liking. So Sending Support. I come from a counseling background. I actually do that still as one of my part-time jobs. And so I really like some of these, especially. Like, there are so many ways you might feel right now. Alone shouldn't be one of them. Or just simply here for you always. It's okay not to feel okay. Some days are harder than others. Hope today is one of the easier ones. So those are just a few of the sentiments in that set, which we hate to need, but we do sometimes. And so those are important occasions to recognize with support. Hello, Lisa. So then next up, this page just shows some samples of the DSP coming next. And again, this has a coordinating bundle in the mini catalog I'll show you, but another DSP, the Favored Flowers DSP. Sometimes these are a bit of tongue twisters. This one is Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, and Petal Pink. I've also gotten this one if you want to watch my unboxing. I think it's really kind of elegant and sophisticated. And, on one side, a lot of times with DSP, you have like the really busy pattern. And then the other side, you have like a more subtle geometric or just color wash or something like that, so that you can have kind of the bold and the subtle. All right. So far, these have all been $50 earnable items. So if you spend $50 again before shipping and tax, you can earn these for free. This is the In the Country stamp set. It's 2 stamps, but they are quite large. And they create these scenes. I'm having trouble, again, knowing where to point. I actually saw this demonstrated at On Stage, which was the Stampin' Up! Conference I went to. I did a whole review on that if you want to go back and watch my video of all the previews we got, although a lot of those things you're now seeing in the catalogs. But when I saw this stamp set in action, it really stood out because it's a great thing to potentially, create these watercolored scenes with, as you can see on some of these cards. And then I have my first project sample for this stamp set, which is also the first item that you would have to spend $100 to earn. So this one's called Beautifully Happy. And the reason you'd have to spend $100 to earn it is, first of all, it has 17 stamps, so that's more than the others. It also has distinctive stamps, which are these kind of shaded images that create like a photoreal finish. So you get a lot of dimension just by inking it with one color and stamping. And it has the 2-step stamping technique. So you can stamp just the line image and color that in with coloring tools, or then you can stamp the inner color image on top of the line image and color it in just with a stamp, again, with even just one shade of ink, and you get that variation in shade. So there's a lot going on with that stamp set. I got that one for free from On Stage, and I really like it. And one of my Stampin' friends, Lynn Hunt Phones, who got connected with our group of North-ish Jersey demonstrators through On Stage, actually. She made this beautiful card with that stamp set. It uses one of the sentiments for a very happy birthday, because you also get sentiments with that stamp set. And this is a fancy fold card, which you can see has this really great opening. So I love that card that she made. This uses some of the new Fancy Flora DSP, which I've also received, and we'll look at in the mini catalog later. I also made my project sample for tonight with that. And you can see on the back, she's just got a beautifully stamped image for, or card rather, for your message. So thank you, Lynn, for that. All right, just a couple more things to show you in the Sale-A-Bration catalog, and then we'll get on to that bigger mini catalog. It's funny, it's called the mini, but it's bigger than the Sale-A-Bration by a lot. So another DSP, which, as you know me, I got. This one is for $100 as well, because it is 4 times, count it, 4 times the number of DSP, that looks like 3 because my hand is angled, but 4, the number of DSP sheets you would normally get, because these are 12 by 12. So sometimes we get 48 6x6 sheets, which would be the same as 12 12 by 12 sheets, but this is 48 12 by 12 sheets. The colors are Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, and Petal Pink. And they're these really beautiful geometric patterns and just kind of washes. And again, one side is bolder than the other, but all of them are kind of these more background patterns, I would say. So you can just use them in so many ways. And you, again, see some samples here. So I really, really like that. And then there's a few extra special things for people who host during Sale-A-Bration. So if you or a group of people that you get together to place an order spend $300 or more, again, before shipping and tax, then you can earn this exclusive stamp set called Scenic Garden. So some more line image scenes. We've got like a gate, a bench, a planter, some beautiful foliage. So that is extra special. And then if you sign up to be a demonstrator, or what we call join during Sale-A-Bration, this may be the best offer ever. So first of all, Sale-A-Bration is always the best time to sign up. They're always giving you even more than they already give you. What they already give you most of the time is for $99, you get $125 worth of product of your choice. You get free business supplies, although you don't have to use those. There's no obligations. For instance, to start a business, you can just be a hobbyist, which many demonstrators are, which just means you're getting your craft supplies at a discount because you get at least a 20% discount on everything you buy after that starter kit. And again, the starter kit itself, $125 for $99 is already at least 20% off. You get free shipping, so you also save that, which on a $100 or $125 order is quite a lot, depending on well, not depending on where you live. That's standardized 11%. And then, hi Angie, welcome. And then what else do you get? You get a free paper pumpkin kit, which that's a $23+ value. And then all the benefits of being a demonstrator. So access to the community, to inspiration, access to these events like I went to recently and mentioned with Onstage. Really more than I can even explain. But during Sale-A-Bration, they're giving you, first of all, this time your choice. Usually it's one offer, but this time there are 3 offers you can choose from. So the first one is for the $99 that you would normally spend on a starter kit. Instead of getting $125 worth of product of your choice, you get $175 worth. So it's an extra $50 just because you're doing it during January or February of this year. That's option number 3. So I guess we'll count down to 1. Option number 2 is that you can get all of that, the $175 worth of product of your choice, all those other things I mentioned that always come with a starter kit, and the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is a $63 value. And that would cost you $129. So instead of $99, you spend $129, $30 more, but you get that additional $63 value of the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which allows you to use dies and embossing folders and do a lot more with your crafting. It's also very portable. So if you have a big machine, you might like having the mini boss, as we call it, to transport. And then option number 1, most special of all, same price, $129, same amount of product of your choice, $175 worth, same mini machine, except for one key difference, and that is instead of the original white mini machine, it is the new boho blue mini machine. And why this is a big deal? If you know Stampin' Up, you know that our color collections and our color coordination is one of our best benefits. And people love knowing what the new colors are each year. Each year we get a set of 5 new, what we call in colors that are on trend. This is one for 2023. Normally we wouldn't see this until the annual catalog, which this year will come out in May, but we're getting a sneak peek. So boho blue is going to be one of the new in colors this year, and those colors last for 2 years. So we'll have it from 2023 to 2025. And it's this great, I think, kind of like slate, kind of smoky, dusty blue called boho blue. So that is really exciting. So that could be what you choose. If you have questions about that, I know it's a lot, please reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you more about joining, hosting, or just earning those free exclusive products when you make your craft purchases these next couple months. All right, so now let's look at some of the things you could buy to earn those freebies. Let me see how I'm doing on time. And I got to sign back into my computer. I was trying to figure out how to not let it sleep on me, and I couldn't. So I want to make sure that I'm still live. Okay, it looks like I'm good. So again, if you're watching live or on replay, please comment who you are, where you're watching from, what you're liking, what you have questions about. I'd love interacting with you throughout this. Go ahead and put in comments what your favorite Sale-A-Bration item is that you just saw. Which are you hoping to earn first? Okay, so the mini catalog, not so many and lots for us to get through in a short time. So this is, like I said, from January to April. Make sure it's in view here. So it's only available for, 4 months this time. The last few years we had them for 6 months, but now it's just 4, so keep that in mind. Okay, so on page number 3, you've got your table of contents. So some important things here, it tells you all the product suites, which we'll look at. the indexes, which we'll also look at in the back because those are great references. Host and join offers, which we talked through with Sale-A-Bration, but those are at the back as well. And then you've got these icons to watch for. So you have 10% off of bundled items, so that's always good to look for because who doesn't like to save? The clock is for quick and easy projects. That can be helpful if you're maybe a beginner or in a rush or on the go. Distinctive, I talked about what those types of stamps are, so you can look for ones that are those. Dies and embossing folders that will fit into the mini machine will have that little icon because some are bigger and have to use the full-size machine. Stamps come in English and French sometimes, and so it'll tell you that if it's a bilingual stamp set or available in the 2 languages. And then this is new to this catalog. So we used to have the choice between photopolymer and cling stamps, which are like those classic rubber stamps, both of which mount onto clear reusable blocks so that everything stores really efficiently and you're not having wooden blocks for every single stamp. But we are back to having the choice. So you'll see this little C and P when you have both choices in a stamp set, and you'd have to choose the SKU number that goes with whichever you prefer. I'm happy to talk more about the pros and cons of both, but I'll just say quickly the cling stamps I think work better with certain coloring techniques. Like they hold the ink better when you're using Stampin' Write markers to put multiple colors on a stamp instead of just inking it in a pad. They sometimes produce a crisper image, and you don't have to have like a foam mat or chipboard mat or something like that to press on when you're stamping because it has that foam built in. The benefit of the photopolymer though is that they are fully clear as opposed to the red rubber. And so, hi Anna, I'm so glad you're here. So the photopolymer allows you to see exactly where the stamp is going. And so that can be helpful for certain techniques as well. So I think they're both good just for different reasons, and you just may have your preference. So some stamp sets you get to choose. So on page 5, before we get into the product, which I know is exciting, but I just wanted to point out that I know for me this is true, and one of the reasons I love partnering with Stampin' Up! Is because it's true for them as well. And that is, it is not just about craft supplies. There was a time, it was actually at the beginning of the pandemic, when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to continue with this business, and I thought, I'm just asking people to spend money on paper. That just does not seem like the priority right now with everything going on in the world. But I had to remember, it is so much more than that. I think they say it really well. So it says, Stampin' Up! Is so much more than stamps, ink, and paper. At heart, we are a supportive community that cares about people first. It's one of our core values, and it's at the forefront of everything we do. And I really resonate with that too, because my top value is love. And you have to have people to love yourself and others. And it makes me emotional, but I really appreciate that we align on that. And so they have this Making a Difference program, and they do all sorts of things to give back and put people first. So I just wanted to highlight that. It talks more about that on pages 4 and 5. Okay, so on page 6, just a reminder, this is a continuing product, but Paper Pumpkins are the monthly subscription service. I love using these kits. You can subscribe to them for month to month, or you can buy 1, 3, 6, or 12 prepaid subscriptions. And the the Sale-A-Bration is the best time to do that, because those prepaid subscriptions will go towards earning you the freebies. So for instance, at a 3-month prepaid subscription, you would earn one of the $50 earnable items. A 6-month subscription, you could get 2 of the $50 earnable items or one of the $100 earnable items, and so on. And then you can use those anytime. And whatever type of subscription you have, you can always pause, or what they call suspend. So if there's a month that you're not interested in the theme for, or you're too busy to get, or whatever, you need a break from the cost. If you're doing it month to month, you can always suspend that or fully cancel if you need to. But they're always seasonal based on the upcoming occasion or season. And they're a lot of fun. It's kind of a surprise every month exactly what you'll get. We get a sneak peek, but you never know exactly what it's going to include. And then there's the kits collection, which you do get to see everything you're going to get in advance. So if you don't like surprises, this is the better kit option for you. And they're adding these almost once a month. So we have like a couple dozen types of kits now, I think. And I was just talking on Tuesday, on my Newsday Tuesday, about the kit we got in kind of mid-December. It was a little later that month. Usually they come out the first week of the month. And this week, being the first week of January, we got the new one for this month. So always be watching the online store under kits collection to see what those are. Again, they're great for beginners, crafters on the go, crafters in a hurry, kids. Okay, our first suite. So this is the Country Floral Lane Suite. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because I have too much to get through. Lisa says, pretty paper is therapy. I agree. And there's something so therapeutic about cutting paper. not to be destructive, but it's just like tangible. And with everything we're doing virtually these days, which I'm so grateful for so many reasons, but I can start to get almost like seasick from being on my devices for too long. And so having the tangible in hand work and materials really helps me therapeutically. So this is everything you get in this suite. And suites, the price can, you know, seem high because they're bundling everything together. So that way, if you're like, yes, I want it all, I want to be able to make projects that look like that, then you can just easily get it with one SKU number, but everything's available a la carte. And the only savings in a suite is the bundles. So usually that's a stamp set and a tool, like in this case, a punch, sometimes it's dies. And those are bundled together so that you get 10% off both when you buy them both at the same time. But everything else in the suite, you're not saving on by buying it all together. It's just making it easier to shop by putting in that one number. So don't worry if you want to just kind of buy it piece by piece. Other than the bundles, I do recommend taking advantage of the savings on those. Okay, I'm skipping ahead to page 13. Not because of the cat stamp set, although if you know me, you know I love that. Hi, Sammy, I'm so glad you made it. Tell me what you're liking as we go through, everybody. But I wanted to point out on page 13 a couple things. First of all, there's some hidden items, and this one is particularly hidden because it's opaque gems. So you're like barely able to see that there. But my point that just kind of even more reinforces is that there are some hidden items like in the corners of your pages and things like that, things like embellishments. And so watch for those. They're all in the index in the back. So you can always look there to see what did I miss, but you're going to find things like that throughout. Also going to find these tips. So this is not just a catalog to shop from. And I love that because shopping is fun, but it can also be expensive. It's not just about getting you to spend money. It's also giving you inspiration for what to do with what you have. And so for instance, they'll have these little technique tips and tricks. This one says, make embossed details stand out by shading with ink and a sponge dauber. So here's a tool. So another item that's kind of hidden in plain sight. But that's something from the annual catalog. And it's showing you how you can put that in an ink pad and then take this, in this case, ice cream cone. This is from the suite on the other page, which is also super cute. And after you've embossed it with, in this case, the die, it's not even an embossing folder, it's a die that embosses. Did you know you could do that? You can bring out kind of that texture that's been created by putting the ink over top. So lots to learn in the little kind of, again, corners and binding of the pages. Okay, so this is probably my favorite suite in the catalog. It is the Fancy Flora suite. I just think everything about it is beautiful, especially the designer series paper, which you can see on the next page. This is on page 14 and 15. And that's what I made my sample with my swap with my friends here in North Jersey with. So if you could see in person, and maybe you can see on the video, there's an embossing folder creating some texture on the background here. I think it's, gosh, I forget what it's called now. It's from the annual catalog, but it's like painted something. But it looks like someone has done like palette knife painting. So that's supposed to look like a wall. And then I've got the Timbers, I think it is called, embossing folder from the annual catalog on what is supposed to look like my wooden picture frame. And then I have some of that DSP. That's all it is, just the DSP, kind of like a modern art framed on the wall of a gallery. And this is an easel card. So it stands up like that. And it says, "You matter to so many." This is from the Something Fancy bundle, Something Fancy stamp set, which I think has a lot of great sentiments. Like here's to beautiful beginnings and happily ever afters. Grateful for the everyday magic of you. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching it out. I think that's really good. And this is one I say a lot to people in my cards in my written message. May the good you do come back to you. So I really liked those. Made that one of the first things I got. All right. Here it has the little note about C&P, the cling and photopolymer stamps. And so this is one of those stamp sets, what you would look for down here in the description of the stamp set. I'm trying to hold it where you can see it right here. You'd see C and a SKU number, P and a SKU number, and they're both the same price. But you can choose which one you like better. Again, if you have questions about that, let me know. On page 21 is one of the bundles that coordinates with one of the DSP sets from Sale-A-Bration. So you could buy this bundle. It's called the Fragrant Flowers Bundle. It's $48.50. So if you got that and just spent $1.50 more, you could earn that DSP that completely coordinates with this for free. And like I said, there's a few opportunities like that throughout, so I will point out the others to you as well. Okay, next suite on pages 22 and 23 is the By the Bay suite. And this stamp set that goes with this sweet Seaside Bay. This was designed by someone who sold $1 million worth of product. So you can see this little gold badge there that tells you that. And I learned it on stage that the woman who earned that achievement and therefore got the chance to make this stamp set lives near the Chesapeake Bay, hence the theme. And one of my other friends here in North Jersey, Brenda Miller, she made this beautiful card using this suite. It has the, where is it? The pearl. This is the flat adhesive back pearls. And I love that they're kind of shaped organically. They're not perfect circles, and they definitely have that iridescence. So she's gotten that in the middle of her, is it clamshell? Oyster shell? What makes pearls again? Tell me if you know. I really should know that. I have family in Florida. And I have Bajan in my blood. I should know these things. All right, so on page 24, it talks about the tools that you might need. So things like snips or the take your pick tool and things like that. So those are all found in the annual catalog. You don't get any of those real basic supplies in the mini catalog. You would go to the annual catalog for that, or things like adhesive, those basics that you need to make pretty much anything, paper trimmer. But this is all things like, you know, stamp sets, DSP, some dies, tools, and embellishments. Actually, I meant to tell you, there are 8 suites, 54 new stamp sets, 15 DSPs, or designer series paper packs, and then, of course, like I said, the dies, tools, and embellishments. So you do have some tools in here, but not the basics. You go to the annual catalog for that. So just wanted to point that out in case you're new. On page 28, we got some new background stamps. And again, there are more of these, but there's a couple here in this catalog. And I really like these. I got the hand-drawn dots on stage as one of my prizes, or swag. But I like the layered stripes too. And when you put them together, they kind of remind me of like indigenous art. Like this reminds me of the indigenous dot paintings that people in Australia do. And this reminds me like of some indigenous art from Africa. So I just really like that. I like that style a lot. And then on page 29, it talks about the reversible stamps, which, of course, being part mermaid, like I was sort of just alluding to, I do love this sea turtle stamp set, but it's reversible. So you'd have on one stamp on one side, kind of the line drawn turtle, and then on the other side, the bold image to color him in, again, 2-step stamping. And there are more of those in the annual catalog as well. So those are great kind of double duty stamp sets. You get 8 stamps, but you really get 16 images. Next suite is the Regency Park suite. For those who are watching live or on replay, tell me which suite is your favorite. I want to know. This one I think is really kind of like, what's the word? I don't know. It's like these 2D florals in these kind of bold colors. I'm not sure what style to call that, but we've had a few suites like that over the years, and I always think it's really pretty. And then what do we have next? I hope I haven't skipped things. If I have, it's probably okay though because of time. Okay, so here's another bundle that coordinates with the Sale-A-Bration product. Remember that farm paper? So this is the On the Farm bundle. This one's $51.25. So if you just bought the bundle, you would earn that paper for free or whatever else you wanted, but then you'd have everything to make your projects fully coordinate, which is one of the things I love about Stampin' Up, whether it's color coordination or tool coordination, style coordination in the suites. It just makes it so easy for us to make beautiful, really like professional level crafts, even as non-professionals. So for those of you who love gnomes, I know there's a lot of you who do. We had a gnome set in the last mini catalog, which retired yesterday, but we now have new gnomes for spring. And they use the same dies, which are still available. So you can still cut out these gnomes. Lisa says that last suite reminds her of 70s wallpaper in her sister's bedroom. Yes, it is very 70s. Thank you. I was going to say retro. I wasn't sure that was the right word, but yes, flower power. Thank you, Lisa. So not only did I want to show you the gnomes, because I know they're popular and they do coordinate with that last die set. Yes, Lisa says gnomes, lots of exclamation points. But this is another tip and trick here on page 40. It talks about how designer series paper can be used in so many ways. For instance, it can be cut in strips and folded like ribbon to embellish your projects. So this right here, which might look like ribbon, especially, you know, from far away on the video, that is actually designer series paper. So just another cool idea. Okay. Here's another suite that I really like. It reminds me of when I lived out west. The Delicate Desert Suite. Really beautiful kind of dusty tones. and some more of that seam paper. So let me see if I can point with this hand. So it's hard to see. I did do an unboxing of this because I got this, but they have these full sheets that are like these ombre scenes of deserts. Kind of reminds me of like the Painted Desert, if you've ever been there. And I've also gotten this, the distressed or dry brushed metallic specialty designer series paper, because it has that metallic foil in it. So you can check those things out in my past unboxing videos. I also I wasn't gonna show you this, but while I'm flipping past it, I also got this, the Like an Animal specialty designer series paper. Again, it has metallic. Those papers are gonna be more expensive, but they're gonna have that special thing. Like actually I skipped the By the Bay is a specialty designer series paper because it has, I think it has two types of specialty material in it. It has like an iridescent kind of pearl finish. I'm trying to get back to it. And a foil finish. Anyway, I can't get back there now, but I also unboxed that. All right, what else? On page 47, it's another freebie I got from Sale-A-Bration. So many free things when you're a demonstrator, so many deals. It's wonderful. But I wanted to show you that throughout the catalog, for instance, or first of all is what I meant to say, you've got the clock icon here, so remember that means quick and easy. But also they'll do this where they'll show you 3 versions of a project, and they call it Stay Simple or Step It Up. So this would be the most simple version for maybe a beginner crafter. Then they've stepped it up with a few more layers and techniques for maybe the casual crafter. And they've stepped it up even more with lots of layers and techniques for the avid crafter. So wherever you're at in your crafting journey, if you will, there is inspiration for you. Okay, another $1 million Sales Achiever stamp set. So made by one of those great salespeople. I wanted to show it to you for that reason, and also because it's fun. It's the Taco Fiesta, and it has all these puns, which I love. So things like, you're not your average friend, and long time no taco. I just think that's fun. And on the other page, I wanted to show you the Sweet Citrus Bundle. This one is extra special because it's not just a stamp set and a tool, it's a stamp set and 2 tools. And those 2 tools work together. So it's what's called a hybrid embossing folder, so that you can create the texture on your citrus fruits. Could be lemons, oranges, grapefruits, whatever you like. And then you can die cut them out all at the same time. So normally you would have to emboss it and then cut it, or vice versa probably, so you don't flatten the embossed image, so you cut and then emboss. This, you actually put the dies in the embossing folder and it does it all at once. So much simpler. So there's only a few of those that's really special. And of course you can buy the pieces separately, but when you bundle them, you're gonna get all 3 of those things 10% off. And I also have a sample to show you of this. So this was made by my friend here in North Jersey, Barbara Dykehouse. And hopefully you can see this shimmer. Maybe there you can see it a little bit. She's used Wink Stella to make a shimmer on those oranges. But it says, sending you a big squeeze. And on the inside, have a zesty birthday. And then she even made an envelope with a little bit of stamping here to coordinate. So really fresh. I always love the fruit and food themed sets. All right, next suite on page 50. Hopefully I'm telling you page numbers. Oh, Sammy, thank you. I appreciate your encouragement. Again, let me know your favorite suite as we're going through, everybody. So this is the Rain or Shine suite. This one, again, has a specialty designer series paper because it has UV coating in it. And if you don't know what that is, I don't blame you. But basically it's like a glossy coating so that, for instance, it's really hard to see, but like these sheets that have raindrops on them will be shiny like they're actually wet. Lisa's saying the citrus insides can double as flowers. Yes, very clever. I love when people do that. Thank you for pointing that out, Lisa. So, you know, especially if you've been doing this, or maybe even if you haven't, maybe the fresh perspective would help. But I think an experienced perspective can do the same, where you look at something, you see what it was intended to be, but you can actually see how it could be used otherwise. That's one of the things I love to do with Paper Pumpkin, making my alternates when I get the kits and have my parties. I always teach an alternate at my parties if you ever want to join us. And I love to try to transform what they've intended as one thing for something else. All right. Oh, thank you, Lisa. That's so sweet. All right, so on page 52, we get into some of the Easter stamp sets. There may have been some before, but this was the first one I noticed in the catalog. They don't have sections necessarily, but they do sometimes group stamp sets for certain occasions together. So of course, Easter, for some of us, being one of the occasions we celebrate in the spring. So just wanted to point that out. And then on page 53, I think whether you're a newer crafter, just building your collection of supplies, or a returning crafter, a veteran crafter, if you will, this is a great bundle because it's so versatile. I really like, I'm on a budget, so I like the money I spend to go a long way, and I want that for you as well. So this is called the Happy Labels Bundle. It comes with this Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. So it's a punch, one punch, but instead of doing just, you know, 1 or 2 types of labels, it'll actually do 6 because it does 3 sizes of 2 designs. And so they end up being 6 distinct types of labels. And then you get these very versatile sentiments for all different like common occasions, but they're kind of twists on the usual. So instead of just thank you, hello, just a note, which you do have, you also have things like, you are my happy place. I just want to hug you. There's no one like you. Life is better with you. So, you know, very easy to use, but kind of different ways of saying what we maybe often say in cards. So I think that's a really, really good one to get your money's worth out of. All right, page 55. This is the bundle that goes with the DSP that we looked at in the Sale-A-Bration catalog. This is the last of the coordinating bundles with those DSPs called Dainty Delight Bundle. That was that DSP, I think, that first came up in the catalog that I said I like so much, like that botanical style. There's so many more I want to show you. As I'm flipping through, I'm like, oh, I'm so tempted, but I'm not going to. Okay, I'm just going to share this one. I love the stamp sets with a sense of humor. This is called Occasionally Funny, which is very humble, but I think this is my favorite. It says, congratulations on the new reason you have to wake up in the morning. Every single morning. And I'm not a parent yet, but I nanny, and I can understand how that might be good for a new parent. Not because I have to wake up with that baby, but I know his parents do, and I hear about that, how early they get up sometimes. All right, so on page 58, Enjoy the Journey Suite. Other than Fancy Flora, this might be my next favorite. Again, please tell me yours, whether you're watching live or in person. I know you haven't seen them all yet, but I see someone hearted it, so maybe this one's your favorite too. Again, great for scene pages with the DSP. Some really beautiful kind of skyscapes and landscapes, and again, reminds me of living out west and visiting all the national parks out there that we could get to in our little car, eating soup out of the can. In a tent at night, hearing the wolves howl, hoping they wouldn't eat us. It's all true stories. They didn't, obviously. We made it. We did get kissed by some wolves. Let me know if you want to hear that story sometime. Okay, so on page 61, another background stamp, probably my favorite of all the new ones, the Watercolor World. If you haven't been able to tell from this or from other conversations with me, I love to travel domestically and internationally, so I love that. And that is a huge background stamp, by the way. It will fit on the F block. But it is 5.5 by 3.25. So it covers the complete background of a card, and it's distinctive. So again, 1 ink and you get all that great dimension. And then this is a great set of new dies called the Alphabet a la Mode dies. You get the full alphabet, all the numbers, some symbols. You even get some letters for different languages with the different accents. And so that's a really good one to have to spell out anything and everything you want. Only good words though, right? All right, on the next page, page 62, I wanted to point out the, let me see what they're called, Loveliest Layers Decorative Masks. So that's something you can use with ink or embossing paste to create these kind of stencil designs. And as it says here, again, a tip or trick, you can layer the different stencils to create your own unique floral images. And, you know, others, there are patterns as well. And so, but you can see like, you know, these ones would all overlap to create a beautiful array of flora and fauna, not fauna, those are animals, flora. All right, of course we have the suites, which are products that are already coordinated for us, but then we also have other products throughout the catalog that will coordinate, they're just not a part of the suite. And so an example of that is on page 64. This is the Picturesque stamp set, and this would coordinate with that Enjoy the Journey suite. And it does have a note about that, but not all of them do. So, you know, as you're going through, you can be looking for like what you would put with what. And, you know, some things might be kind of intended to match or coordinate. And then other things you might see the potential in, and you could create your own unique combination. So just be watching for that. And then on page 65, this is the returning Framed Florets bundle. So this was part of the Fitting Florets suite of products that we got early. It also came with some DSP and embellishments, and that was available, I think, for the last month or two. It's no longer available, but the bundle is carried over. But I wanted to bring that up because that's going to be happening more. So we are going to continue to get even more releases of exclusive product only to the online store, so outside of the current catalog. So be watching my Newsday Tuesday broadcasts. I try to do those the first Tuesday of the month, or if the first Tuesday of the month is like a week into the month almost, I do it like the very end, the very last Tuesday of the month, if that's like, you know, the last day or two of the month. So you can get all those promotional information from Stampin' Up! And we will get those exclusive releases online throughout the coming year. So something to watch for. On page 67, a thing not to miss. So we've had the blending brushes. Now we have the mini blending, or sorry, they're called small blending brushes. You still get 3 for $11.50, but they're only 6 inches long. And then we have this blending brushes storage. So you can store your brushes in there so they'll stay dry and clean. But I love the blending brushes as a tool, so I was excited that they came out with a new size and a way to store them. All right, this might be our last suite. If not, we're getting close, which is good because we're running low on time here. I'm going to try to finish at 9. So this is the Ready to Ride suite, a good one for traditionally masculine cards, although not exclusively that. But it's always good to have, you know, there's some sentiments in the stamp set for Dad, for instance. Dad, you're the coolest. But again, you could use this for anyone who likes kind of the mechanical. But look, there's even some like floral patterns. So there is versatility to it, but it's more traditionally masculine, which is good because that can be hard to find. That's page 68, 69, if I didn't say that. And that kind of starts, again, like without there being formal sections, maybe the section that has more traditionally masculine or at least gender neutral stamp sets. Like for instance, on page 71, we have the Beside Me, kind of father-centered, or just man-centered. It wouldn't have to be a father. It could just be, you know, a male figure in someone's life. On page 73 are some memory keeping supplies. So you've got the Enjoy the Adventures Memory and More card pack and Memories and More cards and envelopes. I think these are a really great deal for $10. You get 20 card bases and 20 envelopes. They're also larger than the standard size. They're 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I really like the colors this time. They're these watercolor washes of Balmy Blue, Mango Melody, Mint Macaron, and Petal Pink with basic black accents. And they would go with these cards. And so you could use those for scrapbooking, photo journaling. You could make cards with them. Really versatile, but specifically for memory making if that's what you like to do. Could be a great way to start the new year or to reminisce about last year. I was telling someone recently, almost every time I'm around scrapbookers, and Lisa, you might remember this or have experienced this yourself from the crop that we used to both go to when we lived in the same place. You know, you'll ask people like they're scrapbooking and there's a picture of a baby and you're like, oh, so sweet. Like, who's that? And they say who it is. And you're like, you know, how old are they? And they're like 20. And it's like the picture is their 2-year-old. And so it can take a while to get to memory keeping, but whenever we can, it's good. So on page 74, it talks about some of the items, some of which I've already mentioned, that are carrying over that you won't necessarily find in this catalog, although it shows some of them here, but this is just a sampling. So these are past or current products from past catalogs that are still available in the online store. So you won't find them in a catalog, but you will find them on the online store. And again, there's more than just what they show here, but I wanted to let you know that that's a thing. And on page 76 begins the indexes. So this is, or sorry, not the indexes. This is, well, yeah, it's an index of the bundles. So it'll show you all the different bundled items, which again are going to save you 10%. It's a stamp set and a tool, so either dies or punches. And Lisa says, oh, thank you for sharing. So she's still making her daughter's baby scrapbook and she's 27. Perfect example. Thank you for your humility to share that, Lisa. We're in good company, all of us together, just doing what we can to remember the good times. But what a gift for her. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. So this is a great place to see where you can make all those savings. And again, you get great examples of cards. You get an additional project sample that you could make with that bundle. Sometimes, you know, just looking at the pictures of the stamps or the dies especially doesn't really speak to me. And I know a lot of people say the same, but then when you see a card made with it, even more so like in hand than in the catalog, it really, maybe unfortunately, makes you want it. You end up wanting a lot more than you thought you would originally. And then on page 84 is the catalog at a glance. So this is, I guess, more the true index where you have all your stamps, a little thumbnail version of them, their name and their page number, and those are alphabetical. Then you have the dies, starting with that hybrid, Sweet Citrus hybrid embossing folder that goes with the dies. And then keep going on page 86, you have all the punches, all the paper, Again, some of this paper, like the ones that aren't part of suites, like the Vellum Basics we skipped over, that's not part of a suite. Like an animal I did show you, that's not part of a suite. So those can get hidden in the catalog. So back here you can see, oh, I missed that, and go find it in a fuller size picture. You have your embossing folders, your tools, your ribbon, and your embellishments. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some prizes because we're getting close on time and it relates to these. Actually, I'm gonna finish up and I'll come back. I'll come back to prizes, but we're close to that time. So on page 88 and 89, just real quick, I wanted to show, I feel like this is almost like a quiz. Like, do you remember, if you're like me, when you were like a teen, maybe still, but for me, it was like part of my teen stage where I would get magazines and take those quizzes, like what type of this are you and what type of that are you? Well, I feel like that's kind of what's going on back here. There's no quiz, but it shows you these different types of people at a crafting event. So you've got the fun host, the new crafter, the supportive demonstrator, and the one who joins. So you can kind of see like, which one of those am I right now? I, of course, am hopefully the supportive demonstrator, but you might be the one who joins and becomes a demonstrator yourself. Again, whether to start your own business or just be a hobbyist with all the benefits. You might be the fun host who gets together a group of people to craft and maybe make purchases so that you can earn rewards, like that exclusive stamp set from Sale-A-Bration, which you wouldn't have to spend a penny to earn. You could let the group you get together spend the money and you just get the freebie. Or maybe you're the new crafter, you're just starting out and you just want to try it. So you start with a kit, or you start with coming to a class I offer, or just asking a question. And so, you know, and there's also, it's a spectrum, right? There's others in between, but those are maybe just 4 of the types of people you might find at an event. So I'd love to hear where you are in your journey. Oh, Anna, thank you. Please put in comments like who you think you are, or if there's something else, like if you're the veteran crafter, or I don't know, the curious about crafting person. And then on page 90, again, it's talking about hosting, but a few more things I wanted to point out here that we didn't talk about with the Sale-A-Bration host offer. First of all, if you host, and again, you can earn rewards, so you can, once you or the group you've gathered spends $150, and that could be gathered in person or virtually, by the way. And I'm happy to talk with you about how to strategize to do that together. But once you or the group have spent at least $150, you start getting a percentage of that purchase back in free product of your choice. So it starts at 10%, so you get at least $15 in free product of your choice, and it goes up from there. But you could make some of these items what you get with that reward dollars. These are items that are discounted, and again, exclusively available to hosts who've earned those rewards. So you've got the Flowers and More Designer Series paper. Again, this is an extra sized pack of paper, so 48 12 by 12 sheets, and it's only $18, even though it's a $30 value. At the Pond stamp set, it's a $24 value, it's only $14. And again, you're using free dollars, those reward dollars for it anyway. And so the other thing too is if you or that group you get together spend $450, not only are you getting that percentage, and it's a higher percentage at that point, back in free product of your choice, you can also get a product of your choice 50% off, which is better than the demonstrator discount. That's double the highest demonstrator discount. So that is the deal. So lots of great ways to earn things. And then on page 91, it just talks about how you can get more inspiration from Stampin' Up's social media. They're /Stampin' Up on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. I guess the Instagram has changed. It's /Stampin' Up official. I think their last account had an issue, so they had to redo that one. But you can also follow me, Hannah Crafted Gifts, on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, I already said. So what am I missing? Oh, my blog. And Reddit, but I haven't really been active on Reddit. That's the only one I'm not active on, though. All the rest I keep up with. So let me go back and tell you about prizes. So the reason I wanted to talk about that on this page is because here are some of the things you could win. So this is what I'm going to do this time. Oh, and I see a comment. Hang on. Okay, so I'm getting some favorites. So enjoy the journey, but you also want friendly gnomes and beautiful thistle. Ooh, okay. I'll have to look that one up. That one doesn't, like, something comes to mind, but not clearly. So I'll have to check on that one. But thanks for sharing your favorites. I think that's Lisa. I'm only seeing part of the comment, but thank you. The rest of you, again, live or on replay, please share your favorites with me. But whatever your favorite ribbons and embellishments are, here's how you could earn some for free. So the first thing I'm going to offer is for you and any guests that you invite to watch this launch party. So whether you invited them and they're watching right now live, or you invite them to watch on replay, you have the whole month of January. So until January 31st, you watch and comment that you did, so that I know you did. That's the only way I can know. And invite people and make sure that they comment that they watched and who they were invited by. So have them say, you know, this is Hannah, invited by Hannah, or Lisa, invited by Hannah, or whoever it may be. And you and that person will be entered to win a free embellishment. So it could be a new one. It could be a retired one that you could only get this way. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I may give you a choice. I may surprise you, but you will each win an embellishment. And again, that's for you. And for every person you invite, you get a chance. So if you invite 5 people, you have 5 chances to win. And if one of them invites 5 people, they now have 6 chances to win, because they have the chance to win from you inviting them and then the chance to win for all the people they invited. So the idea is just invite as many people to watch this as you think might enjoy it, because I want to grow the community that I get to craft with. Because that's why I do this, to be able to connect with other creatives, or if you don't consider yourself a creative, just other people. But I think everyone's creative. It's just a matter of how you like to be. And I have yet to meet anyone who can't do this. I would say most people think they can't initially, but my favorite thing, I heard this at a class recently, someone said, I'm so glad I came because I did not think I could do anything like this. And now here I did. So it gives that creative confidence, which I think is helpful, not just in something like visual art, but then we can translate that hopefully to other areas of our life. The other way you can win ribbons and embellishments, and these will be brand new ones of your choice, is to make purchases. So again, I think I'm going to say the entire month of January. If you place an order, well, that's longer than I usually do it. But okay, I'll do it. So if you place an order in the month of January, so again, till January 31st, for every $40 you spend, you get to choose a free ribbon or embellishment of your choice from this mini catalog. So from page 87. So every $40. So if you spend 80, you can choose 2. If you spend 120, you can choose 3. I'm checking my math. If you spend 160, you can choose 4. If you spend 200, you can choose 5. I'm doing that math right? If you spend 200, you also get 4 $50 Sale-A-Bration items, or $200 Sale-A-Bration items, or whatever combination of $50 and $100 items you want to get up to that 200. So lots of freebies you can earn right now. So again, you have until January 31st to invite people and win that way, and to make purchases and win that way. So that way, whether you're purchasing, able to purchase or not, you could potentially win a prize. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can comment on this Facebook video. I'm also going to be posting this on YouTube. You can comment there. You can reach out to me via email at hannahcraftedgifts@gmail.com. If you want to place an order, reach out to me directly, because I'll have to place that order for you in order to add in those freebies that I'm offering you, because that's my offer, not Stampin' Up's. And so you'll let me know what you want. We'll arrange a virtual payment, and then I'll place that order to get to you as soon as possible. So I think that's everything I wanted to share. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. And we're actually finishing a few minutes early. So if you have questions, please post them in the comments. Again, if I don't see them live, I will reply to them afterwards. And if you're watching on replay, as I've been saying all along, please comment as much as possible then too, and I will follow up with you. Again, that's why I do these live, so that it can be interactive. And thank you to those of you who were here live. It was really good to get your feedback that it was working, because it's been a little while since I've done one live. My last few I've had to do different ways because of scheduling and technical issues. And so it's great to be back live with you all. And I wish we could be in person, but some of you are local and we can be. I am offering in-person classes right now, and I'm also continuing to offer virtual classes. So, oh, and other Lisa's watching. Yay! Oh, you're telling her to watch. I see. Yes. I forget what I was saying, but hopefully it wasn't that important. So yeah, so invite new people to watch so that you both can earn prizes. Make purchases if there's anything you're wanting. Again, now is the best time because of Sale-A-Bration and getting more for your money, plus my special offers. It's like win-win-win. And thank you all for joining me as always. Happy crafting.